You're watching The Sports Spin, presented by Uinta Basin Healthcare. Health and healing, every person, every time.
Welcome back to The Sports Spin, your weekly dose of sports action, presented by Uinta Basin Healthcare. Mark Mason, John Nurden, we watch the games, we call the games, and now we spin the games.
Today we debate Deflategate, break down Uinta's win versus Salem Hills, and put Coach Putnam through the spin cycle. But first, it's time for the Week Rewind.
Welcome to the Week Rewind. Let's kick off the season with a quick, recap, Mark. We had Uinta soccer, 6-1 over Salem. We'll get right back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Union soccer had a tough one. They prevailed. They beat Tooele 3-2. And they'll have a fourth place go at state. They're headed to the state tournament against
Juan Diego. Tough draw. Probably the best in state. At 3A, probably could compete in 4A.
Or 5A. They can compete anywhere they want.
Juan Diego is a tough draw. Hey, but hats off to Coach Goodrich. They made the playoffs. And what you would probably thought was a growth year.
No, it's a growth year, and they're in the playoffs, and it's always a chance.
Yeah, here we go.
They got to play the games. Uinta baseball, they needed to win 4. They lost. Now they need to win 3, and Springville needs to lose 1, and they're back in for 4th place. So they got to hold court.
Yeah, and baseball, it's such a tricky game. The bats can get cold, they can get hot. Doesn't mean Springville's going to win out, so they still have hope, but they do need help to get there.
They do. Union baseball, they're going to take 4th. They're going to state playoff. And the way they do baseball, they all show up in one field, and they play a bunch of games, and then they get a second chance, and I'm not sure it works, but they're in, they're 4th. Same with softball. They can do the same thing. Union softball, they're also 4th. So good job, Union. They're getting state games. Uinta softball, if they win some games, they're going to take 2nd. They have a chance. If things go their way, they'll take 2nd. Otherwise, they're going to be 3rd and in a good position in their playoff run.
And we'll know this time next week where they stand. Is that about right?
We'll probably have a great opportunity.
Pretty good idea. So we'll keep an eye on Uinta.
Duchesne and Altamont, 1st and 3rd. And we'll talk a little more with a Duchesne player here in the Fast Dash. But they're going to the playoffs. They start today or tomorrow, so they're right on it.
And that's interesting with 1A. They mix the 1A and 2A.
They got to play up.
So they got to play up. So it'd be a challenge, but hey, Duchesne first. I mean, they're undefeated in their region. So I would say they probably have as decent a chance as anybody. Once you get into that, it's anybody's game. You got to play it. There's no favorites in the playoffs.
You know, and baseball's so pitching heavy, so it depends on how well your pitcher does on a certain day.
Right.
So good luck, everybody in the Basin, with your playoff runs. Let's get back to the game of the week.
Salem Hills versus Uinta. And, John, it was a rout.
It was a rout, you know, and it was a rainy game, and we had Octane Day, and there's a lot of people there, but they're all hiding under trees and under umbrellas, and it was a rough start. But the kids played great, you know, as you see here on the highlight package. They ran the ball well, touched it well. They just really dominated the game from start to finish.
Yeah, it was interesting because you knew it was a game for Uinta to play soccer because just before the game, the wind picked up, and right when the whistle blew, here came the rain, and we were laughing because Salem, the only thing they won is they had a better team tent than you guys had. That was the only thing they won.
I heard that on the breakdown with you and Jared McCackney. Oh, we have a nice tent. Come on now.
It's a little miniature tent. You had
Compared
like 40
to theirs,
kids jammed under there, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. The Utes touched the ball well. The midfield really controlled it well. We're going to get to some of the highlights in a second, but one of my favorite features is the misdirection that your boy Caden Nurden, you know, the way he would present his hips to the defenders, and he'd wait for them to commit, and then he'd break them down. And you know, if you're not looking for those details, it's missed, and you know, and that really set the tone for a lot of the scores and a lot of the control of the game.
No, I appreciate that, and you know, it's fun to talk about my son and see him do really well. But all midfielders, that's the important part of a midfielder, to deceive the other player and get your forward running players the ball so they can score for you.
Yeah, and the defense scored. I mean, you had defenders coming up on 50 and 60-yard runs. So game of the week, we have some great highlights for you. Let's just roll with the first one.
Let's break down all the goals.
But yeah, we got 6 goals. Here's the first one, and you saw that hip misdirection. Jaden Spencer in the box.
Except it's Alex McGlory in the box.
Excuse me.
And Alex, you know, he just holds on to that ball and does a great job, Mark. He just says, not on my watch. It's not going through. I am going to make this goal this time.
And he fought off a defender, and he waited for the one defender to clear.
His nose cleared, and he shot.
It's crazy. If that defender would have stayed down for an eighth of a second longer, he would have blocked the goal but broke his nose.
You're right.
So Alex McGlory, first goal of the game, up 1-0, and immediately saw the deflation from Salem Hills.
So this second goal that we're going to run is Andrew Bestenliner off of a corner. Caden gives him that ball, and he just dives right down in there, and I think he's crossing this ball right off of a Salem Hills player, in through the goalie's legs. You got to play the game. You got to shoot. You got to score. I think it's a great cross. Maybe it's a shot. He'll tell you it's a shot because he wants the credit.
Bestie, he calls it a shot. And it looked to me like that's a set piece that you guys work on in practice. It's a give and go off the corner, and then Bestie heads straight for the baseline. And hey, you got to shoot to score. I don't care if it bounces off three people and you intended to pass. It went in.
It's a goal.
It counts as a goal.
Nice job, Andrew. This next one is Alex again. Caden swivels those hips one more time and sends the ball up through. And Alex does a great job of hesitation, and I'll go left-footed in the side netting.
And that's a great play by Una, and maybe some slow reaction on the defense. They definitely have to check that player coming across the 18 before he receives the ball. That didn't happen, and he made it look easy, hit it with the left foot and in.
Alex does a great job of that. It's hard to stop someone who can go left or right. Yeah. And they're not thinking he's shooting it left-footed, and he does. Side netting, no problem.
Yeah, that's a great play.
So this next one, definitely going to be part of the Monster Plays this week, but you see Jaden pass it to Alex and then just keep running right from fullback. He's all the way back, goes up, shoots it, misses, and twice as nice.
And then falls down. That's a long run. Anybody that knows, that's a 55-yard run. He initiates that run from beyond midfield, and he goes all to the baseline, follows his own shot and knocks it in. I can't imagine. Do you have to give him oxygen after that run?
You know, Jaden has plenty of oxygen, and what we don't see on that play, yeah, he's got plenty. He does that with about 8 minutes in the game. Before we score, he does the same thing, runs right up in there, gets an opportunity, and the guy's just holding him in the neck and just holds him back, throws him down. He doesn't get through, and it doesn't work. So, this was his second chance, and took 2 shots, but well done, Jaden. I love the run, and I love his partner, Alex, just sending the ball up through, knowing it from clear back there. You can see Alex, again, that's that midfielder saying, no, this is how you score.
Twice as nice, for sure. Let's move on to the next play.
This is Canyon, and the ball, Cameron Oakes gets a nice shot here. It bounces off the other players, and Canyon.
What's the teamwork here? It's in and out. Yeah. It's a 2-man game.
But this touch, as the ball's dropping, he's just bottom of the net. No problem. A lot of guys, you said it yourself, a lot of guys are going to shoot that over the top, make a field goal. Not Canyon. He's done a great job playing a role for us this year. And for the Utes, we got to have someone coming off the bench, and he's done a good job of that and being a solid player when he's there and doing things like that when he's in the game.
And we're going to nominate him for first team All-Hair this year, right along with Vil Latui out of Union.
Except for we nicknamed him Cotton Canyon. He didn't like that too much.
Cotton Canyon. Well, he scored. He doesn't care what you call him as long as he hits the back of the net.
Yes,
Last
sir.
one. Are we going to call this the hand of God? No, we can't.
It's the back of Cameron Oakes.
It's the back of Cameron Oakes. He may or may not have hit with his arm, but it didn't extend, and there was no call. Back of the net. It's a good run, though, off a corner.
One thing you don't see on there is Coach yells down, "Hey, Mikey, hit it off of Cameron. Hey, Cameron, knock it in." And it just went right in. So it was a really fun play for all of us.
So you're saying the coach is a genius?
No, it was completely lucky.
So that's the game of the week. It was an incredible game. VTV6 honored to be there. Now let's move on to our Monster Plays. So we're here on the Monster Plays, and we missed it last week, but she won in such a landslide. I think she got 87% of the vote. When I say she, it's Tiana Nielsen, from Altamont High School on the I Believe I Can Fly. She's 5'3", and she's made a bracelet that she's inscribed on the inside of it. 5'6", it's a ring, and she says, that's the record, I'm gonna get it this year. Watch this run, 5'3", and she clears there 5'5". All she needs another inch. I think she got it right there. The pole wasn't high enough.
I think you're right, and I think last week I liked it better that it was 6'2", but 5'5" is an amazing number.
Right.
The record is 5'6", and that's why she's going for it. She wants the record.
Yeah, and what a goal to set. Say, hey, I'm going to be the best. I'm not just going to win. I'm going to get the state record. Tiana Nilsson, sorry we missed your name last week, but you landslid the voting. 87%. Can anyone knock her off? Who do we have, John?
Well, we've got Jane Spencer, twice as nice. The big run from the back, and again, this is his second run like this. You see him behind the 50. Alex sends him the ball. He paddles through, and he's determined to score. Hits the goalkeeper, says, nope, I'm going to score anyway.
Yeah, if
that's determination right there,
If at first
Mark.
you don't succeed, try again, and he gets knocked down for his efforts, but when it goes in, you don't even feel when you hit the turf.
So, Mark, we have a lot of sports going on. It's hard for VTV to cover every sport. We've got coaches giving us footage. We got players giving us footage. We need more footage.
We do need more footage.
This week we were a little short on footage, so we got the posterized. This is a fun one.
This is probably my favorite one all year long. Posterized, up in the air. Here comes the goal or the basketball hoop.
And there you see it. It's Coach Juice from the Utes getting dunked on by little teeny Andrew Bestenliner.
And Juice got dunked on, so why not? We put Posterize in there. And, he really has to defend the rim better. He's a big, tall guy.
He needs to get up there.
He needs to get up straight up like that. He can't take it like that.
So everybody get out. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Sports Spin and vote for your favorite play. We'll be right back.
The Mako robot is a robotic arm that assists me in surgery. We're able to do a scan of the joint for joint replacement, put that 3D info into the computer of the robot, and then we can plan exactly on the computer where those implants should go. It doesn't allow me to make any mistakes. The most exciting thing for me about the robot is what it can do for my patient. This is the Mako robotic arm, exclusive here at Uinta Basin Medical Center.
We're back on the Sports Spin, presented by Uinta Basin Healthcare. Now it's time for Kristy Putnam on the Spin Cycle. So, Coach, thanks for coming in. Thanks for volunteering to let us run you through the cycle here.
Sure.
We talk a lot about the different sports, and it's been fun to have all the different sports, the different coaches, and we just thought it'd be great to talk a little bit of girls basketball right now.
Sounds good.
So first question I had, and kind of the question I think on everybody's mind is, you started the year off and you lost the best player, team leader, point guard. What happened and how did that affect things?
Well, first of all, back up. I wouldn't say best player, team leader. I feel like we lost our team leaders, but I feel like they were the seniors from the year before. A lot of times people don't realize who actually leads on the court, because the person that scores a lot of points doesn't necessarily lead the team, But as far as, we lost our starting point guard, period. And that was devastating for us. That was very, very difficult. And so I had to have a junior and a sophomore step up in that spot who had my sophomore point guard had freshman experience the year before. And then, the other girl, they just didn't have a lot of experience. And so when you lose your point guard, you lose your quarterback, really, truly.
So you lost that experience coming in, not so much the leader. And then who became that leader for you this year?
I think that's part of what we lacked, because we had, Yerli is a great leader. She's a great leader, but I feel like your best leaders usually come from a guard position. They have the ball more. They have more control of the game. But Yerli usually is, she stepped up and she kind of is our nurturer, take care of everybody kind of leader. And so she took care of that role just a little bit. But that's kind of what we lacked, is somebody just to step up and take charge and say, come on, we can do this. They fought hard, they worked really hard, but just to have somebody just step up and say,
The girls were super fun to watch this year.
Yeah.
It was fun.
They were one of the hardest working teams, and they got along better than any team I've ever coached.
And they got better as the year went along.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, the curve of play was dramatic from game one to the end of the season.
Right.
We enjoyed it. I've enjoyed watching you coach for years. In Uinta, in basketball in general, it's mostly men that coach. It's men referees. It's a male-dominated sport. What are some of the challenges that you face being a female coach in that kind of a male-dominated, basically, culture?
Right. I'll be honest. I didn't notice it until the last few years. I don't know if it wasn't there. I'm sure it was there, but I just didn't notice it. I noticed several times there'll be other male coaches that are just yelling, screaming at the officials, and the officials they're okay with it. But when I yell at them, I have to be a lot more careful. If I yelled at them like the male coaches yell at them, I think they'd probably toss me out of games.
I think they're trying to get back at their wives.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
I thought it was a mother complex. So you say wives, I thought mothers. No. So that's a huge thing. That's a competitive disadvantage, wouldn't you say?
I think so. At times, I think it is, and I think also players. I think they respond when they get chewed out a little bit, but I think they almost feel like women should be kind of mothering to them, and so for me to yell at them versus what Randy when he'd yell at them, it was different. They could handle that better. They could take that a little bit better. But when I yell at them, it's like oh no. It's, they feel like I should be nurturing them more.
Yeah.
And so that's a little difficult, but for the most part, it's okay. It is what it is.
And I asked that question because on SportsCenter just a few months ago, the Spurs hired the first female assistant coach in the NBA, and I'm thinking to myself, it's 2016. How did this happen? There's got to be somebody that was qualified before that day.
Right.
It's just perplexing to me. Anyway.
Well, I think part of that is just, as women, I like to coach women. I like to coach girls. I feel like the advantage that we have is that we understand what they're doing. We understand the highs and the lows and the emotional times, and and so we kind of get that. And guys sometimes don't get that. They don't understand why they're so emotional and what they're doing. And
there's no crying in basketball.
Exactly. Right? We understand that there is at times.
Yeah. So with all that challenges and then the growth this year. And the success of a good team, not necessarily a winning success, what do you see for next year?
I think next year is going to be a rebuilding year. It's going to be giving players some experience. It's going to be the seniors leading and not necessarily always starting, things like that, but in leadership positions and being good examples to those girls and also being able to share time because we're going to have to work in girls that are going to be sophomores next year. They're going to have to be getting some varsity time.
Some young kids going to be playing.
Right. We've got some young talent that's going to end up coming up and playing, and we're going to have to get a little more experience at the point guard position again, just giving them more experience, really, just working them over, giving them more time, and continuing that, that team. Because I feel like this last year, really, truly, they were solid. They were a team. Nothing was going to penetrate, that, because there was so much adversity outside the team that they kept the rest of it.
Growth through adversity,
exactly.
Right?
That was kind of our motto, that we're going to get through this and we're going to keep fighting. We're not going to quit. We're going to, I think they learned a lot this year.
Right. So you've coached for what I consider a long time. It seems to be a high burnout position. What is it that motivates you each year to come back strong, come back motivating the team? What is it where do you find the fire to keep going?
I don't know. I just think the game is it's just great. I mean, it's one of the best games that's ever invented. I loved playing it. I love coaching it. And yeah, there are hard times. Of course, there's hard times. But the girls, that's where it's at. The girls are just amazing, and they're fun to be with, and they bring energy. They, I don't know, they're just like your kids. When you just want to take care of them, you want to help them get to the next level, whether that's just college, going to college, or if they want to play at another level. You just want to be there for them and help them. And I think the girls are kind of what keep you going and keep you wanting to come back.
I think the fun of it is that you get to coach rather than teach. And I know you're a teacher, and I appreciate that you do that. And thanks for coming on, and thanks for taking the time to work with us on this and work with those kids on life skills.
Yep. We love it. It's fun.
Great to have you on, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks,
here
guys.
on the Spin, Sports Spin.
Kick off the boys soccer season with VTV6 live coverage. Like us on Facebook or click over to VTVchannel6.com for broadcast information. Live high school soccer is brought to you by L&L Motor, Strata Networks, Ashley Regional Medical Center, Pilot Logistics, and Moon Lake Electric. Don't miss a goal with VTV6 live coverage. Streaming to VTVchannel6.com. VTV6, your life in HD.
Welcome back. Let's get to our calls of the week. So the calls of the week, how did we do, John? We had 3 things we had
We're going to do this quick today, Mark.
Quick, go quick.
So, NFL, you won.
Win.
But I gave it to you. I mean, I let you pick first. So then again, you hogged and picked first again and went ahead and picked Portland, and they won.
That's a win.
So there's 2 for you. So since we were tied as of last week,
5 and 3. 5 and 3 is a tie in
That was 4 and 4.
5 and 3.
And then we were 4 and 4. And then the last one, the most important one, the local stuff, you win a softball. Spanish Fork, Tooele, Springville.
I won.
So you couldn't have won because you guessed that they would lose to Springville, and they beat Springville.
And they did lose to Springville.
No, they beat Springville.
No, they lost to Springville.
They won.
They lost.
They won.
They lost. I said they'd lose one.
Anyway, you lose
Win.
that one. All right.
6 and 3 on the season. Man, it's hard to be me.
Moving on to this week, since the last week was such a bad week, we're going to call Duchesne softball. So Duchesne softball, they went 11-0 in region, and now, Mark, we're going to decide whether they make it through the first and second games without going to the losers bracket, and then whether they come out of the losers bracket or not. So I think they're going to win the first 2 and lose on the third game, go to the losers bracket and lose.
That's what you think?
That's what I got.
I just want to be contrary to you.
Okay.
They're gonna win. They're gonna get into the next round, but they're not gonna win this championship.
So they're going to make it. They're going to win 3 games? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got them winning 2, you got them winning 3.
We'll see how that turns out.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
2 and 3. You win at baseball. They got to win 3 in a row, and Springville has to lose. I've got them winning. They're going to do it. They're going to make this happen. What do you go for,
Hey,
Mark?
Utes, my heart's with you. But, again, I just got to be contrary to him. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season. 6 and 3, I got it locked up. But I'm going to go against John just to make sure, just to rub it in his face. I'm sorry, guys, you're not going to make it. You're going to lose 1 more, and Springville's going to win out.
Boo. Okay, so the last call this week, Mark, is the Warriors versus the Blazers. Everybody wants to know who's going to win. I'm definitely going with the Warriors. So I picked first this week. That leaves you with what?
Well, let's since we're both going to pick the Warriors, let's say how many games are the Blazers going to win? Because the Blazers had a chance.
5 and
they
1.
were up by 11 going in the fourth quarter. They scored 12 points and lost by 12. They gave up 32 points in the fourth quarter to the Warriors, who didn't have Steph Curry. That was a pretty big chance.
They're going to win
blew
1.
Your chance.
They're going to get 1.
5. They're going to go 5 games. It's going to be 4 and 1. I'm going to go 2 games.
4 and 1.
They're going to get 2. It's going to be 4 and 2. Warriors move on. Sorry, Blazers, you look good. It was a Cinderella story, but you're out. You're out. You're playing against the best team.
All right,
in
so
NBA
Mark
history.
has 4 and 2. I got 4 and 1 in 5 games. You're in 6. Okay.
And if you win that, you can move into 6 and 4 on the season.
You know, you can count it however you want. We're going to have a super PAC at the end, just like Hillary Clinton
We're going to have to go back. All right.
All right.
So now let's get right into the spinoff.
So here's how this works. We pick a topic. This week, we're going to talk about Brady and Deflategate, goodness sakes.
And why are we bringing up Deflategate? This happened like in 2014.
And then everyone gets to vote on that and decide whether or not I win the argument or you win the argument.
We'll put it out at the Sports
We need more than
Spin.
6 votes this time.
Well, 6 to 0. Maybe you can get your wife to vote for you, so it's 6 to 1 this week.
All right, so here we go, Mark. What do you think?
Okay, so why are we even bringing this up? Because some appellate court decided to overrule an overruling and go ahead and issue a 4-game suspension to Tom Brady. The question is, does he deserve the suspension or not? And I say yes, but not 4 games. The reason I say yes is there's a pattern of cheating from the Patriots. The Spygate. And we got Deflategate. Hey, the rule says it can't be softer than one certain. Let me talk. It cannot be softer than a certain PSI. 10 of the 12 footballs weren't.
Worst argument ever.
It doesn't matter.
How can you penalize him for what someone else did?
And he dates Gisele Bündchen. I mean, the guy, for 4 games, he can sit in his mansion and have one of the prettiest women in the world. He needs the break, and it'll actually do good for the Patriots for him to be out. Because first, it'll test a quarterback that's in a backup position that gets to play. And second, he gets to stay at home with Gisele.
So let me recap this. So
Supermodel.
he had a 4-game suspension, overturned, 4-game suspension. They'll overturn it again, no problem. But either way, why does he deserve it? The game's over. The game has been played. They let it play. And guess what? Did they win by 1 or 2 touchdowns? No. What was it, like 42-19? A ridiculous score. There is zero reason to go back and do this again. It's old news. It's just
They won by that margin because their footballs were soft. It was easier to catch in the cold. Competitive disadvantage. It's
too many people are thinking that football means soccer now.
You up.
They're just trying to get more of the population to understand football, not soccer.
Suspend the guy.
So-
He makes more money in one game than I'll make in my lifetime. Suspend him. Hate him. The Patriots. Get him out. Get him out. We need somebody new.
He didn't do it.
Get him out.
He didn't do it.
All right.
It wasn't his thing. No suspension.
That's
So
the spin
get
on it.
out, vote for John, and get rid of this stupid argument. Aren't we sick of it?
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Sport Spin. Vote for who you think won this
Not
spin-off.
Mark, me.
We'll
Just
be
vote for me
back
whether I won or
after
not.
a short break with the Fast Dash.
Have a great first day of school, sweetie. Buckle up.
Good night, honey. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
No, okay, I'm gonna tell him.
If you love someone,
Hey, Dad,
tell them to buckle up.
buckle up.
The Mako robot is a robotic arm that assists me in surgery. We're able to do a scan of the joint for joint replacement, put that 3D info into the computer of the robot, and then we can plan exactly on the computer where those implants should go. It doesn't allow me to make any mistakes. The most exciting thing for me about the robot is what it can do for my patient. This is the Mako robotic arm, exclusive here at Una Basin Medical Center.
I'm the Masonator. Thanks for sticking around. We're now on the Fast Dash. Here on the Fast Dash, the shining star of the Duchesne Eagles is with me. That's why I had to wear the sunglasses. Carson Reinhardt. I never saw him miss a 3 all season. You ready to summon your eagle powers?
I guess.
Come on, show us Nacho Libre style.
No.
Carson and I think you just wanted a little attention.
Oh, I always want a little attention. Not a lot, though.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, Carson, on the Fast Dash, what we do is we ask you some questions. They may or may not have to do with 3-pointers, but we're going to put up a clock. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, here's his time, his moment.
All
in
right, here's the
sun.
first one. You ready?
Yeah.
Football or basketball?
Ooh, basketball.
How about what would you prefer for dinner, tiger or cougar?
Tiger.
Tiger.
Who's going to win the NBA this year?
Oh, Spurs.
Really? Wow,
there
he's
you go.
calling the upset. Call of the week. 3 or a dunk?
3-pointer. It's more points.
More points.
What's your favorite sport?
Basketball.
It is basketball. Okay.
Basketball, okay. High jump or 100 relay?
High jump.
Soda pop or water?
Soda pop.
Walmart or Kmart?
Walmart. I have to say Walmart.
Oh, man. Here we go.
QB or point guard?
Point guard.
He plays both.
Do you watch the VTV coverage of your games?
Sometimes.
Who's
yes.
the best announcer, Mark or John?
Both.
Oh, bail
He's
out.
supposed to say Steve. So, going to prom or hanging out with the guys?
Hanging out with the guys.
All right, that's it. That's your minute. That was your time for this. How did you enjoy it?
That was fun.
Would you
It was fun.
recommend us to all your family and friends?
Yes.
So would I. Thanks for joining us here on the Sport Spin, presented by Una Basin Healthcare, Health and Healing. Every person, every time. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next week.